Hello, everybody. Here I am again with a continued lecture on mutation. Today we shall see the second type of mutation, chromosomal mutation type 2. That is also known as numerical chromosomal mutation, or simply change in chromosome number, in number of chromosomes. Therefore, with not much ado, let's go, please. Now, changes in number of chromosomes in general are called heteroploidy. Heteroploidy, generally changing. There are different types of changes, of course. Generally, heteroploidy, of course. Heteroploidy may involve one aneuploidy, of course, and also two euploidy. They're difficult to pronounce this aneuploidy, aneuploidy or euploidy. In short, aneuploidy is when it involves number change, loss or addition of one or two chromosomes per cell. You see, a cell may, or an individual, each cell in an individual may have one extra chromosome or one deficiency of chromosomes or two maximum. Most of the time, these are tolerated. You may get individuals with one chromosome extra or one chromosome deficiency, two chromosomes extra or two chromosome deficiency. Otherwise, 3, 4, they are not tolerated. The most common, there are one deficiency or one extra, and two deficiency or two extra. Therefore, this involves loss or addition of one or two chromosomes per cell, of course, but still it may involve one 3 extra or 3 lost deficiency, and it happens due to non-disjunction. If you are asked what causes aneuploidy, it is during meiosis, when you form germ cells. The germ cells are reproductive cells by which you make your babies. In the female ovary, formation of egg. In the male ovary, in the male's testes, formation of sperm cells, which both involve meiosis, the reduction division. Therefore, when meiosis is mistaken by a process known as non-disjunction, of course, it can also occur in mitosis. When non-disjunction happens in mitosis, of course, it happens in non-reproductive cells, in body cells, so that they affect only the individual containing those cells. Otherwise, meiosis happening in reproductive cells do not affect the individual, but affects the babies formed by those gametes or reproductive cells formed because of this mistaken meiosis non-disjunction. Therefore, let us ask and deal about non-disjunction. What is non-disjunction? Or simply, non-disjunction is failure of chromosomes to separate. When you learn about cell division in mitosis or meiosis, anaphase is special phase of the cell division where chromosomes separate and move towards the opposite pole. So, when that anaphase is abnormal, that means most of the time it is non-disjunction, the homologous chromosomes or sister chromatids fail to separate, so that they move as they are attached, they move all towards one pole of the cell, so that one cell gets extra chromosome, the other gets deficiency of chromosome. Therefore, you can see this diagram can tell you non-disjunction is failure of chromosomes to separate during anaphase of meiosis, causes gamete to have too many or too few chromosomes, deficiency or surplus or extra. This is a diagram that shows you it could happen in anaphase 1 of meiosis 1 or anaphase 2 of meiosis 2, which results cells with n minus 1, n plus 2, n minus 1, n plus 1, even n plus 2, n minus 2. Aneuploidy could be hypoploidy. Hypo deficiency refers to hypo deficiency. That means one or two chromosomes are missing. Or hyperploidy, one or two extra chromosomes are there. Hypoploidy, loss of one or two chromosomes. Therefore, when the cell is deficient in one chromosome, 2n-1, the organism formed will be 2n-1. The other neurosome, 2n-2. Two chromosomes are missing. Hyperploidy is opposite of hypoploidy. Hyperploidy, one or two extra chromosomes are there in an individual. Trisomy 21, trisomy 2n plus 1. Trisomy is 2n plus 1. And tetrasomy 2n plus 2. Don't forget this terminology, very important. You have to know the most common aneuploidy is hyperploidy. And from this hyperploidy, which one is the most common? Of course, trisomy, when the cell has one extra chromosome. Trisomy is again the most common aneuploidy. Euploidy. When we go to euploidy, this increase in the entire set of chromosomes. You see, the cell still it is increase, not deficiency, of course, not decrease. It is increase when the increase is not in one or two or three chromosomes. It is increasing by the number, the total set, the basic chromosome number, that is n. What is the n number of humans? 23. Therefore, if polyploidy happens in humans, we are going from 2n to 2n plus n, 3n, 2n plus 2n, 4n, 2n plus 3n, 5n. You see? Therefore, the entire set of chromosomes are added when it contains n, the cell is haploid. This is not polyploidy, but this is from n monoploidy or haploidy to n diploid, 3n triploid, 4n tetraploid, pentaploid, hexaploid, heptaploid, whatever. You see, in this case, each cell contains chromosomes which increases by n number. When the number of chromosomes is more than 2n, that is given. The euploidy is known as polyploidy. Polyploidy includes triploidy, tetraploidy, sorry for the error, the letter tetraploidy, add a here, pentaploidy and hexaploidy, heptaploidy. Therefore, this is polyploidy. And polyploidy, we shall talk about polyploidy especially, is very important in the evolution of angiosperms flowering plants. Really, flowering plants do polyploidy naturally, and human beings also cause polyploidy in plants because polyploidy is associated with many benefits for humans. It can create disease-resistant plants. It can create plants with large-sized fruits, and many other beneficial characters. That's why plants are doing it, and humans are also inducing polyploidy by using chemicals like colchicine. Therefore, the advantage of chromosomal mutation for survival in evolution. Let's talk generally now. What's the advantage of chromosomal mutations for survival and evolution? One, some chromosomal mutation can allow the organism survive better than others. Look, chromosomal still, there are negative sides of these mutations, but when we talk about the positive side, they do have advantage to organisms for survival and evolution. When you talk about survival, it allows some organisms to survive better than others. Therefore, this leads to evolution. Yeah. For example, look, lactose tolerance. This has been depicted in your textbook, but described in a not a vague way or not clear way. Lactose tolerance is the mutation that mammals undergone, human beings undergone, especially humans, particular humans. What is lactose tolerance? Lactose, you know, it's the sugar, the double sugar in milk. And milk for mammals is the first nutrition, best nutrition for the first nutrition that the babies are fed by the mother's body secretes, feeds the baby. Therefore, it's not forever that babies are fed with lactose from the milk. When they weaning means when they stop feeding and when they start feeding on other nutrition, uh, the genes for lactose are no more functional. So after a certain age, mammals, including humans, can't process the lactose in the milk if they drink milk with lactose. And it creates a problem. But in course of evolution, in course of time, humans developed mutation, change in the genetic mechanism that produces lactose digesting enzymes, so that the enzymes, the gene that produces the enzyme, will remain active even the adult after weaning. Weaning, weaning, stopping. To stop weaning means to stop feeding milk. After weaning age, after weaning, uh, in adulthood, the human genome undergone mutation, which uh, which has changed the production of which has changed and undergone the genetic modification in the genes that process the production of lactase, the enzyme, so that you can keep the enzyme at adult stage. Because now, because of cattle, because of milk being used as best nutrition around the world by many cultures, now in course of time, humanity has developed, changed the genes that work in the lactose digestion to be active throughout, not only active in childhood, but active in the adulthood, so that you can feed this best nutrition. You see, this is one typical mutation that our genes that work on lactose have changed in adulthood, so that we can use this milk throughout our age, not only during babyhood. Most mammals lose the ability to digest lactose after weaning, after they have stopped feeding on milk. But mutations allowing continued lactose digestion into adulthood appear in several human populations independently, you see, around the world. Mutations that allow continued lactose digestion into adulthood appear in several human populations independently. What is the benefit of this mutation? Oh, it allows you to feed without problem, to feed lactose, milk, throughout. And these traits provide significant nutritional advantage in societies that that domesticate dairy animals. We also see cases around the world where these chromosomal mutations have resulted in uh, immunity to HIV. There are some individuals who have developed immunity to because of mutation, and the mutation associated with sickle cell trait provides resistance to malaria. This case, the case in sub-Saharan Africa, where there is a big problem in malaria. Those heterozygous, those which have one allele for malaria, are selected. This is mutation, selected to survive. It created survival advantage for those heterozygous individuals, even become physical. And there is one particular case where mutation, physical advantage, such as the height mutation in Ecuadorian tribe. I need this, You see, there is a mutation that has undergone in Ecuadorian, one tribe in Ecuador, Latin America, where these individuals are very, very dwarf as a population, height mutation in an Ecuadorian tribe. The Ecuadorian village with Laron syndrome, they call it this dwarfing mutation, Laron syndrome, are notable for their height and the absence of age-related diseases like cancer. And not only, of course, their height is very dwarf. They, because of this mutation, height mutation, they also have don't have the problem of cancer, diabetes, type 1 diabetes, age-related diseases. They live longer lifespan with no problem of diabetes and cancer at late age. You see, this mutation known as Laron syndrome or Laron type dwarfism is a rare condition that affects the growth hormone receptor genes, the genes that work on growth hormone receptors. The villagers' height and health status suggest that this mutation may play a role in human longevity, to enabling them to live long life. And the development of age-related diseases, therefore, no age-related diseases. You see, this is mutation in this population. Yeah, so if you interpret with this population, you may benefit your kids to inherit their good traits like absence of cancer and diabetes mellitus at old age. And chromosomal mutation can lead to genetic diversity, adaptability, and thus playing a crucial role in the evolution of organisms. Yes, the role of chromosomal mutation in human diversity, of course, yes. Physical features such as blue eyes, blonde hair, beauty spots or dimples are, and even freckles, spot, the light brown spots on body, were a result of chromosomal mutations, allowing humans to become more diverse in their appearance. You see, mutation also contributed to the diversity in color of the skin, in the color of the eye, and some beauty spots, chin dimple, cheek dimples. All these are because of mutations. Therefore, they add to diversity of humans. Phenotypic effect of polyploidy. Now we should see one. Polyploidy. Polyploidy is especially important in plants, angiosperms. Polyploidy has been shown to cause detectable phenotypic characteristics in the organisms, especially in plants, of course, angiosperms. It causes morphological effect, morphological body effect, body size effect, causing the organism to grow big and big structures such as big fruits and big flowers. You need that. Also, physiological effects, for example, the ascorbic acid, vitamin C content, has been reported to be higher in polyploidy cabbages and tomatoes than in the corresponding diploids. You see, polyploidy alters physiology so that it may increase the presence of some chemistry, some chemical benefit like vitamin C for in this case. Also, effect on fertility of polyploid. Of course, this is the negative side. Polyploidy causes the plants to be less fertile or to become infertile, reduces fertility. Genetic. The last part of this mutation subtitle is genetic disorder, of course. Mutation in general known to cause several disorders or disabilities. Of course, some are small genetic issues that briefly affect the individual, or larger issues that may bring major concern to the individual. Of course, some common genetic disorders due to mutation are common single gene disorders and common chromosomal disorders. Single gene disorder, chromosomal disorders. Common single gene disorders, you know this, cystic fibrosis, it is because of nucleotide gene mutation. The gene that works for CFTR gene mutation. CFTR is membrane transporter, chloride transporter, chlorine ion transporter, especially important in respiratory system. And also sickle cell disease, you know it, hemoglobin. And also Huntington disease, progressive neurodegenerative autosomal dominant mutation, gene mutation. This is Duchenne muscular dystrophy, muscle weakness, and degeneration. This is X-linked recessive uh, genetic disorder because of nucleotide problem, gene mutation. The other is familial hypercholesterolemia, high cholesterol in the blood because of gene mutation, autosomal dominant gene mutation. The other is hemochromatosis, iron overload, the inability to store iron in the body, autosomal recessive because of gene mutation, nucleotide, of course. Phenylketonuria, inability to metabolize phenylalanine, one type of amino acid, essential amino acid. You can't metabolize phenylalanine. This is autosomal recessive. And common chromosomal disorders, this involve structural or numerical abnormalities. Down syndrome, you know it, trisomy 21. Many features are associated with this. Turner syndrome, 45 chromosomes, only one X. This is infertile females. And Klinefelter syndrome, 47 chromosomes with one X extra. Trisomy 18, that means one extra chromosome 18, Edwards syndrome. And trisomy 13, Patau syndrome, you know it. And Cry-Duchat syndrome, this is structural chromosomal mutation when the 5p arm is